are being stolen with impunity by people who are charged to protect and serve us. And unfortunately, I've been around the country and I've met many of the families whose children have been stolen from them. But this book has photographs of people whose lives have been lost as a result of police brutality, police murder. And this book quickly became outdated. And an addendum to the book was created. I picked this up in Newburgh, New York, where several young, unarmed Black and Latino men have been killed by the police. But when we look at these pictures, it gives us an opportunity to at least empathize with the people who have been victims and who, after they died, had their reputations decimated by the press, as well as the very authorities that killed them. After that, I was given, it's a VCR tape now. It's a track 8 or whatever. And but the name of it is Busted. And this was to try and advise what to do when they are encountered by the police, where they are confronted by the police. It calls itself a citizen's guide to surviving police encounters. Too many of our young people are not surviving police encounters. 28 young Black unarmed people are killed every hour, according to the Malcolm X grassroots movement that conducted a study. And why is that the case? It's a case because our country is addicted to war. Can't get enough of killing other people. And from the Frank Church investigation on intelligence activities in the United States, we know that the violence that the United States government turns abroad inevitably comes back home. So it's a militarized U.S. foreign policy that has become a militarized domestic policy. And what we are here today to begin is an opportunity for everybody to be involved in the solution. There have been some organizations that have come out and they've made recommendations for lawyers and for those who advocate inside the justice system. But there's got to be a solution, a series of solutions for politicians, for clergy, for activists, for citizens who don't want to do anything except just...
We're not taking money from corporations to be quiet. You know, we're not having backdoor meetings with the mayor and all these other type folks who really don't care anything about us, only when it's time to fix their image. We want to point out that there are a number of different hip-hop artists, there are a number of different activists, grassroots people who come from street organizations. As they pointed out, churches, politicians. This is indeed a people's coalition. You know, so we're inviting the people to get involved. We're inviting the press to get involved and be on the right side of history, because of the fact that in this stage in the game, you know, there's no neutrals. There's no neutrals. The president of the PBA up in New York pointed out a few weeks ago that they were at war. The police in New York, they proved that they were in war when they turned their back on their own mayor. They have no care or concern with everyday people, and we do. So make sure you're on the right side of history or get caught out on the wrong side. We want to call
Tanya Griffin, back in July of 2013, her family was raided, her home was raided. The place where our home is a place of sacredness, a place when the world is swirling around, safe and sound. Unfortunately, in July of 2013, DeKalb County sheriffs came into Ms. Griffin's home, and fortunately for her, her sons were able to capture some of the dialogue, some of the terrorism, how her sons were being called the N-word, how they were being just outright threatened, and they had done nothing wrong. It goes to the very issue that Brother Jihad mentioned about the psychological impact that police are having on young people, particularly in poor communities and in black and brown communities. Here we represent her son's department, but she's here to speak on behalf of her family. She has experienced police terrorism firsthand, and it's different than just police brutality. That's a form of terrorism, but what she's experienced and what the world saw on CNN and on other national networks with her family, again, speaks to the level that the police and sheriffs and law enforcement will go to intimidate and terrorize working day, everyday, ordinary people. So Ms. Natanya Griffin.
Good day, thank you for having me here. My name is Natanya Griffin, and I'm here, like Attorney Davis said, on behalf of my sons and myself who were victimized and terrorized by the police department. In July of 2013, the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office came to my home to file a civil arrest warrant in regards to overdue court fees. And after they had already taken me into custody, they stormed into my house without proper warrant or any invitation in, and terrorized and abused my sons, even up to the point of standing on one of my sons' head. You know, when I see this t-shirt over here, I can't breathe. It's poignant because I think there's a big possibility that maybe Eric Gardner's mother wouldn't have, or family wouldn't have had to see that. My son said those very same words on tape. I can't breathe, as a bunch of cops held him down, unnecessarily terrorized my family. I'm here to lend my voice to the cause because no one should have to endure that. Our house is our sanctuary, and it was disturbed. The peace and quiet of our home was disturbed by the terroristic policies of the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office, and no other family should have to endure that.
I ran out of hands and feet the amount of times that I've been pulled over for just all type of erroneous things that have led to, you know, non-valid searches and just an overall antagonistic attitude toward the constituency of this so-called nation. I stand in alliance with anything that is working beyond lip service to combat police terrorism. Terrorism is an active word, it's a verb, you know, and the things that are happening aren't about perception. They're not about, well, had he or she not been doing this. It's not about that. We're talking about active, aggressive acts on working class citizens. So, and that's a ball color. So when you see me, you see a lot, but that's mine, that's my choice. And I live for my children to be as much cootie chocolate as they so desire. What I may appear to be to the world over varies, and that's fine too. The problem is when it takes the next step and it infringes upon my human rights beyond any unjust laws that are on the books hundreds of years, my human rights as a father, as a dance dad, as a soccer dad, as a coach. It puts a lot of things in jeopardy. And I stand and unite with all of you who are here in support today. Move forward, put your mouth in your pocket, put your actions where your heart lies. And, you know, I stand in coalition.